What's up, reefers? Happy Thursday. Today, once again, we've got Sever here joining us, and a lot of you guys asked for a little bit of a tank tour, both of my Ocean Guard and, more importantly, of Sever's tanks, because we all see it in the background there. And
Yes.
so we thought it would be great for us to spend a little bit of time today just going into Sever's story about becoming a reefer, his passion for the hobby, and a little bit behind the tank that's behind you and his other tank that he may show a little bit about as well. So Sever, thanks for joining us, and I'll just let everyone know I'm on daddy duty at the moment, so you may hear my kids come back and forth. I apologize. I may have to take my daughter on the potty. I'll mute myself and run. So just a quick disclaimer on that. My apologies in advance. But more importantly, Sever, thank you for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you, Aaron. Hello, everybody. And yes, that's so. I will take your responsibility to be a host of this meeting. Then, if you will call it.
Thank you.
Yeah, but first, thank you for inviting me, Aaron. And yes, I will say a little bit about my tank, about our tanks in our home, because we are taking care of the tanks with my wife, and we are together. People that are passionate about for marine tanks. I have a tank at this home probably for, I believe, for 12 years already. And before that, this tank was a little bit smaller, but it was just because I have two, I have to say, two column, and tank it's placed in between these two columns. So it was always in this size, but after 2 years, I decided to make it bigger. So I raised the high, and I also make them wider. So I will say in centimeters, because it's I will not try, because it's before it was 60 centimeter high and 60 centimeter
2 feet by 2 feet
wide, and now it's 80. So thanks to that, it's gained a lot of volume, because it's gained a lot of volume and the depth. I'm a huge fan of deep tanks.
Yes.
Deeper it's better, because all the tanks, the depth it's shortened by our eyes with the water. So if we have 2 feet, for example, then it's still okay. I like it. But if it's more like 3 feet, it's even better, because you have an impression.
You're roughly 30 inches by 30 inches. What's the length of the tank?
It's how many foot it will be, probably,
or centimeters. We can.
It will be 5 foot.
So 5 foot. So 5 feet long by 30 by 30. So
yes. And because I don't have more space here, but I have a very interesting plan, because this tank will be probably from this perspective, but I will maybe do it, maybe not. But anyway, if I will do it, it will be, it will be even wider, and it's going through the other wall. So it's this way. So it will be like a L size, but on the other side, and then it will be very long, like probably like 3 meters, so 10 feet.
Wow, that'll be nice.
And I will make a drop as well.
A drop off tank.
Here, if you see, this way will be a drop. So yeah, but it's a plan, but it will be a very custom tank. But anyway, back into this tank. So this tank is probably 8 years that I have. Before that, I have a SPS tank. Most of the was SPS. It was really beautiful, but I felt that I was too involved. I traveled a lot, and I was and I stopped it to have this tank for let's say, I said, okay, I have enough for a while, and because it was too much for in this moment for me to take care. But honestly, it was just an excuse. But I was also stressed when I traveling. I felt because I had very demanding corals, very demanding SPS corals. But it was a different time. We didn't have any tools to control KH. I didn't have so now it's much simpler. But after 2 months of stopping, I said, okay, I will do again.
You got bit by the coral bug again.
Yeah, because I didn't be able to live without the tank. So I started with the intention to have like a mixing tank. I mean, mixed reef.
The mixed reef tank. Yep.
Many of LPS that will move, and on the top of the reef, I still have some SPS, Aquaforest mostly. When I start, I said, okay, I will start slowly. I will start with the Montipora and just, not so demanding coral. But after I removed the Montipora, I took some Acropora. And I love the Milapora coral. So I have few Milapora, I have Humilis, I have some, there's a lot of there. I have some Tenuis, very nice. That on the top of the reef, it's very easy to
Sure.
not easy, but I love to keep it. But what I like to say, so first of all, I have to maintain all the chemical balance. I use for the beginning. I use component 1 to 3, which for me it's really I love this product because it's taking care of the chemistry in my tank, and I don't really need to be involved in the daily basis on this part. I since like probably 2-3 years when we start the component Pro, I move it to Pro. The difference between Pro and the component 1 to 3 plus, it's a double concentrated, and besides that they have something that rise and stabilize the pH, which is a very I observe much grow, a bigger grow of corals, of especially SPS corals, because we have talked last week. The rise at pH really stimulate the corals to grow, and I also observe much more consumption of the component Pro based on the component 1 2 plus. But I mean that it should be 50%, but after even a week it was 65% or something like that, 70%, because it's with the rise of the pH, the consumption also rise. And so this is generally I have some safe reef safe fish in this tank, and I just
maybe for those of you, for folks who have not seen the fish that you have, do you want to share what fish you have in there as well?
There's a lot of I have a mandarin fish. I have a Leucosteron, Acanthurus leucosteron. Of course, I have a Zebrasoma flavescens, which is must in every tank. I love it because it's so marine tank. And I have the Loriculus, which is the Centropiga loriculus, which is the flame angel, I think. Usually. Yeah. So what else do I have? I have a Belus, which is
the male or the female. I can't remember.
I had a pair in the past, but I suspected her to nip the corals, especially my Trachyphilia coral. And I use the trap and I catch it, and it's I just move it to our company, but it was not the hair. After I realized it was a Hepatus, so blue,
the powder blue, was it?
Powder blue, yes, it was. That most of the people don't know, but they are very nasty especially when they're bigger, for the LPS coral. And I observed that many times. It should be reef safe, but in my opinion, foxfish and this one are very common in our tanks, but they're nip corals, especially things like Trachyphilia, like Symphilia, all the fluffy big, like Symphilia.
Mine even went after my my elegance coral, my Australian elegance. It nipped the whole side of that.
So it's presented as a reef safe for SPS for sure, but for LPS, especially like this one, I don't recommend. And so I just move it, and it's not. And another company tank, she's like the Belus live in the female lives in the LPS tank, display tank, and she don't nip anything. So like the same like Centropiga loriculus is so it's the same story. Some people have some problem with them, but I have like maybe because I have tanks for many years. I have 2 of them, or even 3 maybe during the years, and I never observed that she nip some LPS corals. So this is also kind of funny. And what else? I have some Antias, also Squamipimis, very popular one. It's easy. And I have Ventralis, which was always my
dream fish.
Dream fish, and I like a bucket list fish. And I have it. I had 3 of them. Now it's only 1, but I have it for like the 3. I have it for like probably a year and a half. After 1 disappear, after another year, another 6 months, another disappear, and this one it stays for 3 years probably. But I know that they live for they don't live long. And
That's
this
great.
one that I have. So what else can I have here? Yeah, some shrimp, some things like that. Hello, JCN. All right. So what else? I have also no, but the fish is a fish, and I'm a huge fan of Trachyphilia. It's a Velsophilia, Trachyphilia, and I have few rainbow that I'm really amazed by their by their coloration, by the rainbow colors, and something that I observed that they like to be fed.
Hmm.
Usually, I know some people that keep this kind of corals that they don't feed them; they just have light and that's all. But I observe the coloration of this corals, the growth, how they are. So it's very important for my perspective to feed them. So I mix them Aquaforest LPS food with
Hmm.
some amino acids. Usually, I add some rotifers on it. I just mix it, and I once by week at least I try to feed them.
And you
And
also keep it underneath your auto feeder as well. So anything that would drop down, right?
yes, it's also here. So the art of heater, it's something. My friends came to my house. John, that from
Hmm.
Tasmania, last time when he said, "Oh, your fish are so fat, like a really." And I said, just only four times by day. They just have a Aquaforest pallets, soft palette that we have. I mix all together. I mix some veggie. I mix some marine and some antias because we have a specialized antias food as well, which is my Ventralis love it, the dry
Hmm.
food, which is not common that Ventralis eat something, and especially the pellets. So I dose that automatically, and they are fat. Yes, they are fat, but they look really great. Really, they are healthy, and I have years and years this tank. So what about the lighting? I have here eight T5 bulbs, 54 watts,
Right.
and it's with special combination of our Aquaforest prototype LED light that is added to it. And it's 400 watt, so more. So I have 400 for on T5 and 400
With
on
LEDs.
LEDs. So I believe it's a good combination. In my case, especially the LED are spread. It's not
Hmm.
just like in one place. So yeah. So this is the lighting, and this light I have for also for maybe like 3-4 years. This
And
prototype, I'm not sure if it will be released. Maybe not yet. We have something else to do now, but I test it. I like it very much.
sure.
Add to T5 especially.
So just
And
repeating that for everyone who's watching this and asking, the lights are a prototype phase. They're nowhere close to being further developed and brought to market yet because of some of the other stuff that Sever had mentioned. So
yes, and
you're
this is
watching
the
and
one
talking
tank.
about this.
Yeah, this is the one tank. But I have also the new Ocean Guard 435, which is the other smaller tank.
Hmm.
And I have this tank for probably now more than 2.5, no, maybe 2.5 years or something like that. It was one of the first prototypes that I launched in my home. And so I'm super happy with this tank. Also, there's also our LED prototype light that is there. And so this the other tank, it's mostly LPS tank. I have in this tank some Elphilia, some also from some Velsophilia, Trachyphilia, and what else? Some of the Recordea. I have rock anemones, beautiful, amazing rock anemones that I have there. But anyway, it's there's a lot of zoanthus there, some Clavularia in 3 different coloration, and all is moving. It's a very pleasant tank to watch. And yes, and and also I have in this tank I have the component 123. Component Pro, which is controlled by KH controller.
Hmm.
So I have pumps for three pumps for. I will not. I will say it's a Pacific Sun KH lab that I have for years, and they have 7 pumps.
Yep.
So 3 pumps are for testing and 4 pumps are for dosing.
I see. Yeah.
And based of the tests, they can control individual for dosing pump. So in my case, 3 are for
They use for the dosing for the 1, 2, 3.
for 1, 2, 3 Pro, and the third and the fourth one is for nitrophos minus, or sometimes if it's or I just change it with the
power elixir, don't
power
you put in there
elixir,
too? Yeah.
yeah. So the power elixir was for a longer time because I have a low nutrients in this tank, so I didn't want to lower even that. Yes, and so the problems that I face in these tanks are mostly on the biological side. So chemically, I have this opportunity to really have a great to have a good access to the ACP, so I can test it wherever I want. Do the hour that I have access to a laboratory. So chemically, it's ideal parameters that I can imagine. Everything is in green.
And I think if I can for a moment, I think that's an important piece to talk about, because most of us don't have the ability to take a water sample to go to the office and get a result in a couple hours or less, and so as a result, we tend to do our ICP when something goes wrong. And I think that there's a trend a little bit more and more frequently about people doing it more regularly to get a better understanding of what the shift of parameters are in the tank. But I would imagine that the more often you do it, you could see the trends that are happening based on absorption, growth, and how they're tied together. And we talked before about everything at Aquaforest is being inspired by the passion of the hobby, and seeing based on our our own mistakes and our own desires, how your ability to always be checking on that helps in new product development, because I imagine so many new products came out of your own pain points.
Yes, that's true. And based of because I make this test for probably 9 years. I have 9 years of regular ICP testing in different tanks, and not only mine, but that we have our employees or in our so I can make a trends of certain parameters based on what we are dosing, what happened. For example, all that's why how we tweaked during these years our component 1, 2, 3, our component Pro, because the formula was changed. Maybe we didn't inform really that it's something because we added a little bit more manganium, we add a little bit of this, and just then based on all the tanks that we have monitored.
Sure.
We observe, because of course all tanks are different, but in average we can adjust it to the level that it's if you start from certain level of trace elements and you add the right amount of component Pro or component 1, 2, 3, it will maintain your parameter on the level that it should be. So what happened? There's a lot of question from our reefer. So what happened if, for example, my magnesium is too low or calcium is too low? So usually we don't adjust with the component. The component should be on the right level, and you add separately only this magnesium or the calcium or anything like that. Or for example, if you're on ICP, you will be missing manganium, let's say. So you can use manganium from our Aquaforest lab,
The lab line,
and adjust it to the right level, and then the component 1, 2, 3 or a Pro will maintain it in this level. So for example, I also observe how for example iron is in my tanks, and it's always low, like everybody that I know, every statistic that we saw in our, I don't know, dozens of thousands tests that we made to the reefers. 99% or even more of people have a low iron, and so that's why we try to also adjust our supplements to keep them on the right level.
And you and I have talked about iron a few times now, and how so much of the industry is afraid of iron, or having a buildup that may cause algae. But some of the newer research that's coming out is actually saying just how fast it's being absorbed by corals, that it's I don't want to say next to impossible, but it's really difficult to dose so much that's going to cause an algae outbreak in iron alone, right? Because it's being absorbed so fast by the polyps.
Yeah, if you have corals.
If you have corals, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
that's true. And so what I say, the most of the problems that I face, it's a biological problem, like brown jelly, which is, for
Hmm.
example, it's my nightmare, and that I lost so many torches or so many
Yeah.
ophidia based on that. And I discover a method. I have a special antibiotic that it works. Of course, we cannot sell it because we need to have a prescription from the the
Veterinarian.
veterinarian. And since I used this antibiotic maybe twice during a few years, like, so it never came back.
Sure.
At least if they don't have any injuries. For example, it's just recently, probably like 2 days ago, I just cut one head of the torch because it fall down because it was standing somehow. Maybe one fish just make it fall down. It fall down to the one ricordea or mushroom. I don't know where it was that.
Hmm.
And I reacted very fast, so I put it I s- you know put it straight.
Yeah.
But after 2 days in this place, brown jelly appears. So I didn't thought. I just cut it,
Sure.
and there's I honestly, it's very difficult from my experience to heal injured already a part of the ophidia.
Yeah.
It's if you have a very very strong antibiotic, probably possible, but I prefer not to risk because this is also a kind of bacteria that can be transmitted, and some people lose all the corals due to that.
And I think some of the research is also indicating just how fast that bacteria replicates
Yes.
where a tissue has been damaged or compromised. And so like, some bacteria will generate rather slowly, but it's believed that the one that causes brown jelly, it replicates very quickly. And unless you both cut it or treat it in the system, it's hard to get rid of because it can stay inside of the water column and attach itself to other corals and be fine until the coral is damaged, and then it can potentially cause more trouble.
Yes, and of course, I like the beautiful corals, and it's also excite me to find some pieces that are hard to find. Sometimes I exaggerate even with buying some expensive corals, but we are
Well,
in the same
because you've
boat.
been in the hobby for so long, right?
Yes,
And a lot of us
what
who are
is
watching this.
nice that I have a just for a certain time I have a contact with very good big importer here in Poland, and sometimes he found that he tried to find me a very
Hmm.
nice. So this is make me really happy.
Sure.
Yeah, but this is probably not. But we have a lot of nice corals, and I observe also that now that we care more about corals because they are more expensive, more difficult to find, and it's really, we need to take care of them. Feed them, give them some amino acids, or because, for example, torch need to be fed.
Yeah.
All the philia need to be fed as well. All most all LPS need to be fed. And
And I think it's that conservation lens that I perceive that that helps Aquaforest to continuously create new sets of products, to help sustain the stuff that we have in our tanks. Because, as you said, regardless where you are in the world, they're getting harder to find, more expensive, and less likely to be able to be shipped in some places between state to state. So you're really left with taking what you have, really ensuring that the best quality there and sharing it with others. So that's great to hear. And I just want to I'll pause for a second. There's a couple of questions. Philip, you're
yes,
asking about component 123. So yes, it will absolutely keep your trace elements in check with the calcium reactor. It's what I used for quite a while, and it will. One second. Okay, let me put you down.
so maybe I will Juan Carlos Rendon just asked on our Facebook group a question. Wait in USA, Aquaforest products is out of stock. So I have a good news. Some big news will come next week, and I'm sure that stock will be back and will be available for every reefer in US. I know that the situation that was in the past, and I received many complaints about availability of products in USA. It was not the case from the Aquaforest globally, but it was only US US problem.
Mm.
And but we work very hard to change that. And from next week, I believe, or maybe in 2 weeks, we will have a full availability of products. Very, very exciting new to share with you, but it's not yet. So just
So that's great. So in a couple of weeks, we'll be able to talk more about that. But Juana, I hope that helps. Definitely reach out to your LFS, and they'll be able to help make sure that you get some of the products that you're looking for. So definitely some exciting stuff there. Michael Viking Reefer was just saying that the Ventralis are so 2001 that he'd be happy to take it off your hands. So.
did he? So he saw last time in 2001.
No, he said that it's out of fashion now, that you should give it to him.
Okay, yes, but not yet, not yet.
Yeah.
I'm I'm old-fashioned guy, so I just forgive me that I will keep it a little bit.
Yeah, there you go, Michael. Sorry.
Yes, but it was a really something that I want to have, and I cannot found it, here in Poland especially, and because usually they coming from Oceania, from Australia, and it's very difficult to find them here. But one day I found it in the store. I just bought it, everyone that I had, so three. I know that it should be more than that, but I had a three, and it was very funny because they eat immediately our liquid food. I mean the rotifers, and which is also very. It was surprised me. But they eat Antias food, the pellets,
Mm-hmm.
which is I know that they're the finicky corals will eat it. It's not coral, but the
The
fish.
finicky fish, yeah.
But I didn't expect that they will eat so well this Antias foods. I don't know. This is because the size is important, but I see every of Antias love it, and even we have a big importer of fish that buy in the bulk size this fish food for us, because
Antias food, yeah.
even the imported fish, just day one they just eat it. We have a special treatment of this food, so it's healthy and it's very tasty for fish as well. So they're attracted by this.
That's awesome to hear. And so any other questions that you guys have down below for Seweryn and his tank, let us know. We're not going to keep them too long today, and I'm sure you don't want to see my little ones running around, but
Yeah. Okay, so it's about the problem. So we have a biological problem, and I have, for example, some browsies, which is also kind of biological problem. Today even I just clean one SPS coral from it, and yeah. So when it's came to your tank, it's quite difficult to take it out. There are some methods like high magnesium and some other magical potions.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I doubt that it's possible to manually. You can just take it out. You have emerald crabs, and it's so you emerald. It's the
The
common
emerald
name.
crab. Yep.
Yeah.
For the bubble algae. Yep.
Yeah, so I use them and they try to eat them. I have also the flatworm, the very
The
small
acro
one.
eating one,
So
or
I
the
suck
monkey
them
eating.
with
Yeah.
with the feeder that I have in like a with the feeder that I normally eat. So I suck them out from the
Syringe.
coral,
Yeah.
and it took me sometimes like days, but not days all the time, but like at 15 minutes in the morning, I just
Mm-hmm.
one by one, and just when I cut the population, so they and some corals that I can remove. I use our I have Protect Deep, and it's worked like a miracle. If I have a possibility for example, some Ophilia are not attached and they are standing, so I just
Sure.
take them, put in the deep, and they are clean for months, for this. So it's also, but that chemically, I'm really good, and I also experience a little bit with the higher nutrients lately, and because I was in the old school that where I should have 0.02 phosphate and let's say
Yeah.
0.5 of nitrates, and I keep it for a long time. Now I have bigger, I have 0.1, for example, phosphate I experience. And of course, the SPS corals are not super bright. They are colorful, but it's not super high class. Is I mean, like I say, because we have in our company we have SPS tanks, so
Sure.
I can compare.
Yep.
It's not just red. You have red, blue, and orange and something like that. On the tips. So and the tips are also other colors. And this is if you go extreme, the not ultra low neutron system, but it's, let's say, low neutron system.
Mm-hmm.
So this is, I see, like SPS can have these corals really, really, really more attractive, but they are still attractive. And
So Michael, sorry, Michael was asking about your major elements. So you mentioned your phosphates and your nitrates, that you went from ultra low, 0-ish detectable to now a little bit higher. But what about your magnesium and your
usually
alkalinity?
I even observe some trends that I have in years, and just main do the situation that I have components. They keep me the levels very stable, very stable. So I normally have something like magnesium 1380, calcium is around 420, and let's say KH it's around 77.
So pretty close to natural seawater.
Yes, exactly. I also try to keep them. Potassium is around 400 with 35 ppt. Because we also forget that with the salinity affect all the parameters. So, for example, if I have in my tank 33 ppt, I will keep 7 kH. I will keep, let's say, 400 calcium, and let's say 1,300 magnesium, because it's of course
it's all
like
proportional.
I will dilute the water that I have inside, so all the elements will they will drop.
Yeah.
And so the other parameters, the are in line. So let's say there's no really any. So if you see the recommendation of our ICP test, so I keep them on the right load. So I can say which one, what are the levels, but it's we don't have at home the tools to measure it. So it's also, I really recommend to not do something that you cannot measure. Because
wise words have been spoken for many years about that, and technology is getting better to do that, but still, definitely don't add what you can't measure.
Yes, because you don't know what could be. There are some, for example, if somebody, we can find on the SPS or certain, for example, on Cereatopora, you can see, that the black tip when you, for example, potassium will go up.
You're too high,
yeah. So you will see some signs. If you overdose the fluoride, the corals will be very, very bright, almost like dying. So there are some some symptoms that you can observe, but you should really have an eye and just know the difference. And observe the corals very, very well. And this is so many people ask me how much time I spend in my tank. Usually it's just I make one water change by week. When I home I just put some liquid food. Just I remember in the morning, in the evening I have automatic feeder. So and the component 1 to 3 or component Pro is dosing themselves, so I don't really look on for this.
Then you just clean the glass.
And clean the glass, and just I add some maybe some food during the night, and I feed the corals as well one by week. Usually I add also I have energy, I have built on the daily or even every 2 days, and the power elixir it's dosed by dosing pump. So this is all that I do. Most of the time I'm staring at the tank.
Well,
and
you're in a good spot right there between your living room and at your table there.
The glasses that I have. It's also very, very nice glasses, because these glasses are used in the dentist industry. So this is, they have a special UV filter. And so this is much better than everything that is on the market. You can buy it on the.
I was just going to say, maybe we can put the link below for folks, or maybe we can get a bunch of them and start offering them for sale. But
yeah, maybe we should send it, but we should sell it. But with this, and even I make photo through this also. So I use the phone like this, bam, and I make the photo like this, and or video. Of course, if I have the LED only blue light. So now, for example, I don't know, probably it will be not seen like this. No.
Yeah, they got the reflection too much.
Yeah, but the colors are really, really different with these glasses. So anyway, so if you have any question about how I keep tanks, but I try to keep it on the easy way, and
And
I was
inside
very nervous
your
at the beginning to control everything, but now when tank is stable, after some times there's not such a big effort to keep them running. Of course, I need to be regular on the water changes, on the
yeah.
feeding. Not forget to to change the components, and to for example time to time. If you don't have a cage controller, but do the cage test every, let's say, every few days, and then adjust the dosing of the components,
Yep.
because it's crucial to keep them stable, because even your tank can stop to absorb during some I know some air quality problems, or I don't know, maybe lower pH could happen, and if you don't react, then disaster can come. So stability is the key. Everybody repeat that, but I'll
It
repeat
is. It's so true. And there's some other questions in the group that I want to get to, and then I want to
it.
ask you about what you keep in your sump as well. So Pellegrino was asking about when larger available of sizes will become available, bigger bottles, and also that they were able to score some Power Elixir here in the U.S. So I'm glad you were able to get some. Let us know next time you join the conversation what you think of it and how you set it up on your dosing pump. But definitely want to hear. But we were going to talk about having some larger sizes available. So thanks for asking the question.
Yeah, so we have received many requests from our customer to produce the bigger bottles of component strong, because the component strong are made to make your own component 1, 2, 3. It's one of the elements. So you will have magnesium, calcium, alkalinity, and you will have salt, mineral salt, and the component strong, all together in special proportion. You have on our website a special recipe. So most of the people ask us, because we have only 74 bottles of 75 milliliters. It was ready to make 15 liters of component 1, 2, 3. So now we have 250 milliliter 4 bottles. So it will be almost for 50, 45, maybe 50 liters. So 50 liters of component 1, 2, 3, it's a lot. So there's, you can do it at home. Of course, it's a little bit of you need to play for a small chemist at home, with measuring and everything. But it's cheaper that you buy ready, and we
then
do
mix
that
it
for
yourself.
you. That's why it's a little bit more expensive. But if you want to do yourself and be more economical, you can do with component strong. No, so we have some many. We just launched few of the products in combo. I mean, we will to gain some offer will be more economical. So just you do Pellegrino. I think you do you mix your own component 1, 2, 3. Great. I still believe it's something really unique on the market, because it's not only calcium, magnesium, alkalinity, but it's also mineral salt, which helps you to to prevent you to destabilize the ionic balance in your tank, and it's very important thing. And you have in special proportion that we discovered during the years of ICP testing of tanks, a special proportion of trace elements on all this. So as I said, component 1, 2, 3 or component pro will take care of all chemical side, all the chemistry side of your tank, and you don't need really care about any other chemicals to add to your tank. Just accept if it's something not it was not tested from the beginning, or maybe in, let's say, in long term, it's good to, for example, to check if the levels are, so make you an ICP. I strongly recommend the Aquaforest Lab ICP
Mm-hmm.
as a product. But of course, there are in different continents, you have other suppliers, so you can use them, and then you will know the levels, and you can adjust them with the individual lab elements and keep them and keep the component 1, 2, 3 dosing.
And Pellegrino, I'm not sure what size container you were able to pick up, but I know that there is a larger container available and will become
Yeah, I know,
available
but
in the US.
in the previous time, it was all important in 200 milliliters in States. But but we have 1 liter and 2 liter in offer for the beginning. It's available in everywhere else in that states, but I just be patient. In 2 weeks, everything will be available, everything, and I hope it will stay this way, and I'm quite sure it will stay this way. I keep the, but let's. Oh, you have one 2 liters.
So this is the 2 liter here, Pellegrino. So hopefully sooner than later, this will also be available for you as well.
You are a special customer, so you receive directly. But yes, but it's available. But it's just only a States, US situation. But in Australia and everywhere else, you will find it. In Europe, in every continent. But soon in US, you will find customers.
Yeah. And another question on the group was from Quality Marine South Africa. So hey, thanks for joining us on the chat today. Really appreciate it. And they were asking what any other bucket fish you might have for either of your tanks.
So I have one gematum. It's not the bucket list, but I have one gematum, which is also kind of, it was always a fish that I want to have it. And the Ventralis, the Belus, maybe not so super rare. I don't have any super rare fish besides this one. So yeah.
You prefer to go diving where those fish are naturally?
No, but I was like, I have this fish already, and the powder tank. So Acanthurus, I had the Acanthurus mauliceps, but I like it very much. But it was becoming too big, and I just moved it to our bigger tank in the company. It's not super rare, but I like it. I have some, I don't know, some feelings to this fish, and I really recommend for a bigger tank this fish because it looks beautiful. It's a fish. It's a tank that is not known.
Yeah, that's right. Because they get so big.
Yeah, but it's big. But after some time, I have it for 3 years at least, and yes, and so this is the fish. What else? No, but I think that's all. I cannot have beautiful queens. No, the beautiful puma like an imperator. Maybe I will have it here, but of course I have. It's not fish tank. It's not the reef safe. We have imperators. We have all the other fish on the in our different tanks
in the display tank. Yeah.
Yes. All right.
And I wanted to ask you one last.
In South Africa, it's Aquaforest distributor, so I'm very happy to have you.
Yes, thanks for joining. And I wanted to ask you about your sump. What do you have in the sump? I know you keep it pretty low key, but maybe those of us watching were curious to hear.
So I have two reactors. With one, it's with live biofuel, which I think must have for every tank. It stabilizes the biology in the tank, helps all the filtration as well, biological filtration. So I always in 2 tanks I have a big container with like a 130 AF media reactor full of AF live biofuel, and I have a smaller reactor in 2 tanks with the carbon zeolite zeomix and phosphate minus if I need to use it. Generally they are always there, and I just change them every 3 weeks, let's say. And where else? And I have a 2 Aquaforest. In the bigger one I have Aquaforest skimmer 250, and the smaller one 150. So 250 is a 200 milliliters tube. We don't offer this skimmer anymore. It's still the good skimmer. I have it for years and years and years. I don't know, like 8 years or 10 years. I don't want to change it. And it's with AquaBee pump. It works very well from this moment. And what else? The circulation pump. I have the the mass spec pump.
Yeah, the gyre, max spec gyre.
Yeah, so the new one, and I have them for a while. So I also have so generally the pumps, I have AquaBee pumps 8000 24 volts, and I have it also for 10 years already, probably, or something like that. I use also the live source, which is mad, and my pumps are for 8-10 years and nothing happened. I never had any metals, anything like that. Do the some question that was here. because I monitor very close all these and harmful elements.
That's right.
Yeah. So Pellegrino, what live biofill?
Live biofill, yeah,
So live
biofill.
biofill, it's a media that you can, but just check online on our website. But anyway, it's a small media, bioactive media with bacteria settle on this media, or in our company, in our laboratory. So you buy this media, and they are already with bacteria. So when you will put in their tank, they work immediately, and they start to to filtrate your water, to make a biological load more complete. And yes, it's a unique and only product in the market like this. You have some media, that you can find in the market, but are just dry and nothing is on it. But our is already with bacteria implemented, so you put it and it's work. So
That's right.
so that's why I really believe that's a one and only product, and I recommend to everybody who start tank to have the tank already, just to have it. And what is important, we recommend to renew 10% of the media every 2-3 months, but it's not a must. It's just a suggestion to make it work even better.
Because it adds new bacteria colonies into the reactor, because as some grow, they get fat and die off, so it helps to repopulate. Yeah.
Yes, but they will work anyway without changing, but we recommend to do it.
Sure.
All right.
So these were the questions that we had. Seweryn, thank you for taking the time this evening. I know you've had a long day at the office, so we won't keep you anymore. Reefers, thank you guys for taking the time to join us today and ask your questions. We're going to be doing this again next week. Sorry, this one message came out a little bit late. With Interzoo coming up in a couple weeks' time, the team has been incredibly busy getting ready for that. So but stay tuned.
Next week it will be, we will start to prepare. No, but we prepare already. So everybody who's more professional, I invite you to our booth in Interzoo. Interzoo, it's in Nuremberg, in Germany.
In Germany, yeah.
So it's, from certain of you, it's far away. Maybe for certain, it's very close. But we will have a booth there. We'll present our Aquaforest ocean guards. We will have amazing corals, because there will be 2 tanks. We will share with you the corals that will be there, and the tank will be spectacular. We already made all construction from Aquaforest rock, and it's very light, very beautiful. It will be complete with the corals that will be brought by BJ Corals. It's a company that order, and they will just they select us really, really nice pieces. So it will be really nice to see this corals.
That'll be nice. And we're going to be doing a tank tour of my setup and where it's at in the progression as well over the next couple of weeks. So I know you asked about that, Philip, and don't worry, you'll get a sneak peek sooner than that. But for those of you, we're going to be talking about that on one of the upcoming tank talks. So until then, Seweryn, once again, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for watching.
Okay.
See you in 1 week. Bye.